Let's keep this simple. America's been a good friend to Ukraine. Damn good. We've sent weapons, money, prayers, everything short of sending our boys to fight. But friendship's like a fence. You stop mending it, pretty soon it falls. So today is about mending that fence.
Mr. President, we know the price of a friend. We do not forget who stood with us when the shells started falling. But this storm isn't over. Each morning brings new graves, and each night brings more empty houses.
War does that. Breaks things a man thought couldn't break. We send help. We don't ask for parades. We don't ask for medals. But a little respect, how that ain't too much to ask.
Yes, and you have it. With every bridge we hold, with every flag, we keep flying.
Mighty hard to tell, sometimes with all the hollering in the papers.
Forgive us if our voices carry. When you're drowning, you don't whisper.
Mr. President, is American support in jeopardy?
Nothing's promised in this world, partner. Not the rain, not the sunrise, and not another shipment of missiles.
Prime Minister, what happens if the tap runs dry?
And we stand on what we've got, bare hands if we must.
You think you're the only ones hurting? Take a walk through Detroit. Talk to a vet sleeping under cardboard. Tell him where his tax dollars are going. America's been good, but our homemade bottomless.
And we know it. And we carry the weight of your kindness with us.
Good, because this isn't charity, it's a bond between fighters.
Yes, I understand we don't just fight for ourselves. We fight for the idea that small nations have a right to stand. That freedom's not just a word in speech.
Sounds like you've been reading Thomas Paine.
History books and the battlefield.
We're putting serious chips on the table. Rare earth minerals, energy contracts, security.
And we are offering loyalty, trust, and a future that isn't written in Russian.
No more open checkbooks, clear details, clear respect.
Fair is fair. Simple rule. You respect the folks backing you, loud and proud.
You have our respect and our friendship, not in words, but in blood, if it comes to that.
That's what I like to hear.
Same.
I've buried too many good men, and I don't come here to beg. I come here to build. Our cities still stand, our people still believe. We fight because we have no other choice.
Sounds a lot like where this country started.
Mr. President, are you setting conditions on aid?
Conditions? Only the kind that make sure neither side forgets who's helping who.
And we don't forget. We write it in stone of our streets and the graves of our dead.
Fair deal then.
Today, we don't just make a deal. We make a promise. America doesn't fight halfway, and neither does Ukraine.
Together,
Together.
Together.
Mr. President, are you optimistic?
Wouldn't be sitting here if I wasn't. The war is gonna end, and when it does, it'll be because we made it end.
and Ukraine will stand tall with our friends at our side.
Let's finish what we started.
Let's finish it.
Let's finish it.
All right, folks, tell the history books. Today, men stood tall. Today, the world remembered what allies are for. Thank you very much. It's a privilege to welcome President Zelensky of Ukraine. We've been working very closely for quite some time, and we've built a good understanding through ongoing discussions. We've had some differences in negotiations, but we've reached an agreement that I believe benefits both our countries and even the broader global community. It is a fair and balanced deal, and we're ready to move forward together, especially when it comes to key areas like access to rare earth materials. This represents a significant commitment from the United States, and we deeply value our continued partnership with Ukraine. We've also had constructive conversations with Russia. I've spoken with President Putin, and we've been working toward a peaceful resolution, something that we both, you and he, want to see. We've made progress on the framework of a potential agreement, and I'm optimistic that we can reach a solution. What matters most is ending the loss of life. The human cost, especially among soldiers, has been immense on both sides. We want to see those resources directed toward rebuilding and recovery. We remain committed to working hard toward that goal. Our discussions with your team have been excellent, and I will add this. Under the previous administration, those kinds of conversations with Russia simply didn't happen. Nothing was done to prevent this from escalating. As I've said before, and I'll say again, I believe this war could have been avoided altogether under my leadership. We would have negotiated a resolution from the outset. Still, your armed forces have shown incredible bravery, and we've supported them with top-tier equipment, which your people have used with exceptional courage and skill. This conflict was expected to end quickly, and here we are years later. So I offer great respect to your generals, soldiers, and to you. You've stood strong with incredibly difficult conditions, but now it is time to focus on peace. It's enough. We're honored to have you here today. In a short while, we'll sign the agreement in the East Room right after working lunch. We're also exploring other key areas of collaboration. This is an important moment, but the truly meaningful moment will come when fighting ends and a lasting agreement is in place. And I believe we are moving in that direction. It's truly an honor to welcome you. Please, would you like to speak?
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you for the warm welcome. I believe the agreement is a significant step, the first step toward real and lasting security, guaranteed for Ukraine, our people, and our future generations. We're hopeful for continued support from the United States, something that has been critical for us, and we wish to discuss this further today. We'd also like to go deeper into conversations about infrastructure, long-term security, and our commitments. We understand what Europe is prepared to offer, and I'd like to understand more about what the U.S. envisions. Your clear sense on ending the war is something that we deeply appreciate. It was vital that some strong voices spoke up early, and your leadership is something that, in our regards, sends us a strong and powerful message. Together, I believe that we can end this war. Our mission is to protect our nation, our values, our freedom, and our democracy. There are some areas, like territorial integrity, where we will not compromise, but we will remain committed to working with our allies towards peace. As you know from our earlier conversations, I'd like to also discuss defense production, particularly our drone capabilities. Ukraine has developed highly effective drones, perhaps the most advanced currently. As a result of the war, we also recognize that the U.S. has the most advanced air defense systems in the world. We are eager to collaborate, perhaps through license sharing or technology exchange, to enhance both of our capabilities. Even after the war ends, our people must feel safe and protected. That's why we envision a long-term air shield for Ukraine. Another important area is coalition building. France and the UK have expressed their strong support, but we all know that without the leadership of the United States, broader international efforts may fall short. And finally, one of the most heartbreaking issues, the forced deportation of our people, especially children. Russia has taken over 20,000 Ukrainian children. Their identities have been changed, their families have been replaced. They are being raised in another country under false names. Bringing them home in one of our most important goals for our country and for our military. So far, we've managed to return over 4,000 of our soldiers through exchanges, but thousands more remain in prison. If I may, I'd like to show you some images just briefly.
Of course, go ahead.
Here you can see some of our returning soldiers before and after captivity. The conditions they endured while were inhumane, starving, bruised, and beaten. They are a complete disregard for humanitarian norms. Even during war, there should be rules, but these prisoners men and women, come back broken. I choose not to show you the images of the children, it's too painful, but I'll share them with you privately. It's not just soldiers, clergy have been taken too, simply because they weren't aligned with Russian religious intuitions. Last year, we were able to bring back 3 Ukrainian pastors. I share this so that you can understand the gravity of what's happening.
It's heartbreaking. It's very tough to see.
Very tough.
Thank you. Like I said, it's time to end this, right?
Yes, absolutely, and we will. We're going to make it happen.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, President Zelensky, as well. Like everyone here, I want to see this war come to an end quickly and peacefully. But I also believe the American people deserve some clarity. Our support must be guided by clear objectives and a defined path to resolution. We can't allow this to become an endless commitment. I'm encouraged by today's steps, the agreement, the focus on rebuilding, the emphasis on diplomacy. This is the kind of progress we've needed. And I hope it continues in a way that benefits both Ukraine and U.S. and interests long term.
Well said.